Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. And starting off with Euro USD. I think much has changed. We do have a rejection bar. It does look like we're going to continue to the downside. I think the noise that came out yesterday does indicate that the Feds will definitely be starting their tapering off program and possibly increasing it or speeding it up somewhat. So that's what we're waiting for today. We're waiting for the Feds to tell us what they're going to do later today. So you're probably going to be still stuck in this range for some time today. If we move down to the hour, you can see so we start moving up and then noise comes out and we plummet to the bottom of the range, and then looks like we've got a break of the range with this rejection here. So not going to read too much into that just yet. Wait for the European markets to open. If this holds, so in other words, I'm looking for some form of another bit of structure either below here in this area or back here at 112.676, then there should be an opportunity to move to the downside. But we do have the Feds coming out this afternoon, so I think the wise thing to do would be to sit quietly and wait for the Feds to get their message out, and then look for retest of the moving averages for a continuation to the downside. So I suspect that's what's going to happen. The little bit of consolidation is done, and we're now going to continue on our merry way down to probably 112 and then 111.50 or 110. I know some people are forecasting 110 as a target right now. Anyway, sit and wait is the advice there. US dollar, Japanese yen, sit and wait as well. Still haven't moved past the structure, but it does look like there's buyers accumulating here off the 155 EMA. We don't have a crossover just yet, but this 118.226 is the line in the sand right now for this pair. And if you have a careful look at the 1 hour, you'll see we are staying above the moving averages. Yes, we've got a consolidation here of the stochastics and a grouping above the 80, which have crossed over, and that is bearish. But look at the trend. The trend at the moment is trending towards the upside. This is the level we need to play for, as 113.791. We need a break and a retest of that area. That is your opportunity to get back in long on this pair and ride it to the upside. So that's kind of the view that's happening. We've got this little bit of a rounding bottom, head and shoulders, grouping near the top of the range. And then we've got noise coming out later tonight. So everything is pointing towards a break. I wouldn't jump in yet until the noise is out. So either later, much later in the session today, or alternatively, we're going to be looking at tomorrow before you start getting into the dollar again. Moving on to British pound, Japanese yen, and nothing really much. We're also ranging. This trend line is held. If you look there, you can see we had an open on the trend line with an inside bar, and then gradual move up, break above the 155, and now we're trying to hold that the moving averages at the moment. So this has been in a downward trend for quite some time. You can see since they're down, November. So the question is, are we reversing or are we just consolidating for another leg to the downside? And if I just come to the weekly, you'll see a pretty ominous pattern here. So you can see high, higher, high. Look at the big diversions there. And now we're just hovering at the bottom here. So big question is this just consolidation for this previous move up in the beginning of the year? Or alternatively, do we have a topping pattern here on the week, which is going to sort of plummet us back to the downside? So all to watch for here. Well worth paying attention to what's going on here. This level that I gave you yesterday, 149.618, is the actual line in the sand. If you get through that sort of on a 4-hour, 8-hour chart, that's going to indicate moves to downside. So very interesting to see what's going to happen here. I'm sitting on hands until there's a whole lot of noise coming out. Probably going to be taking an early break in December anyway. So we'll wait and see what transpires here. Moving on to Euro British pound, and this one, as I've been saying all year, breaks above the 155. tries to hold it and then gets back below the 155. And here we've done it again. You can see almost a triple top with diversions here above the 155. I suspect we're going to break back down to the downside. It's what's happened all year. So pretty simple structure here. I'm looking for a retest at the moment of somewhere between 085247 and 085322. So retest of that, I suspect we're more than likely going to drop. What's going to confirm that will basically be a drop below that was Monday's low there. So we get back below Monday's low. That's typically what I'll be looking for. At the moment, we are range bound. Don't fall for the trap or try to select the bottom or try to take a short at the moment, because we are above and below the moving averages. Wait for the rejection of the moving averages before taking a short. If we get above it, then we're still range bound. Then we're going to have to get above that structure there, over there, which is 085511. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of me for Forex this morning. Hope it helps, and wait for the noise and let's see what happens. Maybe we get one last or a couple of last trades before the close of the year. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.